The exam results for the last sitting have been released, and the global pass rate for AAA is still only 30+%, which means that out of 10 students, only 3 have passed and 7 failed. And you may be one of those who did not make the pass mark, and at this point, you might be feeling confused, baffled as to what went wrong and what your next steps should be, because it seemed like you did all the right things before the last exam, but the result was far below your expectation. Hi, my name is Sheila, and I specialize in ACCA's Advanced Audit and Assurance. So, what's blocking you from passing ACCA's Advanced Audit and Assurance? There are 4 common blockers, and the first is not knowing how to score technical content marks. The second is being unclear on what are professional skills. Now, the technical content marks makes up 80% of the marks and professional skills 20% of the marks. And we have to take both these marks seriously because they are huge. And another huge blocker is not knowing the truth about poor time management and marks. And finally, not knowing the truth about the effects of stress on marks. Everything is about marks, really. Now, technical content marks may be lost because of inadequate or outdated technical knowledge. For AAA, you will need to know the auditing standards, the 36 requirements of the ACCA code, the IFRSs in SBR. And you'd also need to know how to handle some of the popular topics like non-audit assignments, acceptance decisions, money laundering, quality reviews. And the technical content marks may also be lost as a result of ignoring question requirement. For example, the question may ask for an evaluation of significant risks. Then you should provide an evaluation and not just a list of risks. And another reason for losing marks could be not applying the knowledge to the scenario. Ignoring the scenario means that you will not have discussed the issue at hand. Then no marks will be awarded. Being unclear on what are professional skills. The student will have to display 4 skills: communication, analysis and evaluation, professional skepticism and professional judgment, and commercial acumen. Now, all 4 of these skills must be displayed in question 1. Only 3 of these skills are required for question 2 and 3. Question 1 will have 10 professional skills mark, and question 2 and 3 have 5 professional skills mark each. Professional skills marks are really a bonus, and you have to take advantage of them to increase your overall marks. Now, let me just explain a little bit about analysis and evaluation. I've used 2 colors here, blue for analysis and green for evaluation. And these 2 words are separate and mean different things. So, what skills does the examiner expect to see here? Like, for example, prioritization of risks. And that relates to question 1. So, if you don't prioritize the significant risks in your answer, meaning you don't put them up first in your answer, the first few points in your answer, then you're just going to lose the marks for prioritization of risk. Then using numbers in the scenario, like calculating ratios or trends and including them in your answer. The ratios or trends should help you in identifying the risk. If you calculate the numbers and that doesn't help you in identifying the risk, then no marks will be given. Then you've got the balanced discussion of matters. And here's where exam technique is really helpful to give you balance so that your answer is not skewed towards one side, but a balanced discussion of everything relating to that issue. And you've got identification of information that has been deliberately omitted from the scenario by your examiner. So you need to identify that. Just like we would in a real life audit situation, we need to know when the client has left out certain important information. So all these are part of analysis and evaluation. And the next is professional skepticism and professional judgment. They're 2 different words. So how do you get these marks? Professional skepticism is about identifying management's views and assumptions in the question and challenging their validity. Professional judgment is about making informed decisions on actions. Maybe the question is about some accounting treatment adopted by management. Then you could say, management should or should not do something based on the IFRS. Or maybe the question is about evaluating the quality of audit work or procedures. Then you could say, the auditors should not do something based on the auditing standards or the ethical code. Now, another item under professional judgment is justifying why this item is a significant risk of material misstatement. And this is for question 1. And the last one is applying materiality levels consistently. And this is also for question 1. So it really helps to know and understand the professional skills so that you can apply them in your answer to get marks. Remember, everything is about marks. Another blocker that we mentioned earlier was poor time management. If you have used most of your time to complete question 1 and 2, leaving hardly any time to carefully read the scenario for the final question, this means that you've only attempted 75% of the exam. So if you can score 50 marks from attempting 75% of the exam, your performance is 67%. So being able to get 50 marks from only doing 75% of the exam is fabulous. But the question now is, how has your past performance been in other ACCA exams thus far? Has your performance been consistently more than 67%? If the answer to that is no, then it is unlikely that you'll get 50 marks in AAA by doing just 75% of the exam. So if in the past your marks have always been, let's say, 57%, 57 marks for SBR and 57 marks for SBL, then your performance level is 57. And using 57% performance level and attempting only 75% of the paper, this means that you are likely to only score 43 in the exam. So can you see how risky it is to attempt only 2 questions? You need to practice really hard to complete all 3 questions in the exam in order to pass. Not completing any kind of question within your exam will mean that your marks will be significantly impaired. So you need to practice. Get used to doing all 3 questions within that limited time. So what causes poor time management? Well, it could be a lack of exam strategy, and much time may be wasted not having a plan of action of what to look at first, what to do next. Sometimes the answers could be too long. The student may be ignoring the marks for the question and putting down just too many points. And the student could be long-winded because the student did not have exam techniques to create focus and succinct answers. Poor time management could also be the result of ignoring the time allocated for that question. Students must move on to the next question when the time for the current question is up. So let's say, for example, for question 2, you've got 45 minutes. You really need to move on to the next question when the 45 minutes is up and not give excuses like you've only got a little bit more to finish. 45 minutes is up, just move on. You'll get more marks this way. Therefore, the student must practice writing concise answers and also practice discipline of moving on to the next question when the time is up. Most students practice questions, but they don't practice it under time, which means that on the day of the exam, they don't know how to let go of a question and move on. Now, stress is an absolute marks destroyer. So how can stress harm your ability to score marks? First, it can cause panic and loss of direction in the exam. And this will only cause you to lose time as you get your position back. Second, stress may cause you to see only selected information in the scenario, information that you're already familiar with. And this is the brain's way of ensuring that your stress level does not increase. And the problem is then that you might miss certain crucial information in the scenario that the examiner expects you to take into account when creating your answer. And failing to see this information means that your answer might not be correct and marks are lost. And the third negative effect of stress is that it might cause your mind to go blank. A blank mind simply means that you will not be able to write anything. This means lost time and lost marks. And what gives rise to stress? The first is last-minute preparation. Last-minute preparation will not help you build confidence. If you're not confident going into the exam, you'll be stressed throughout the exam. And what is the end result? Panic, loss of direction, seeing only selected information, mind going blank when you don't want it to go blank. The second is insufficient sleep. Insufficient sleep causes poor memory, and it will also impair your cognitive ability, meaning that you will struggle to understand what is going on in the scenario. I mean, you look at the story and then you are wondering, what is the examiner trying to say? What does he want me to do? Then your thoughts are not clear. And the third is fear and doubt mindset that makes you think that you're going to fail again. Fear and doubt will cripple your confidence and cause low level of performance. So all these areas will have to be dealt with before you go in for the reset. We do not want a replay of the last exam. So what I've done here is created a crash course providing you guidance. The video lessons have been created to explain the most crucial knowledge content. I use a lot of acronyms, mnemonics, pictures, diagrams to help in remembering the knowledge. I've designed exam techniques for all the big mark questions in AAA. I will show you how to write simplified answers and how answers are marked so that you can mark your answers when you practice. I will also answer all your queries via the WhatsApp chat group that you will be in. So the crash course includes live revision, video lessons on demand, which you can view as often as you need, although I must say that viewing videos alone will not help you pass the exam. You have to keep practicing questions. Each question in the program must be practiced at least 3 times. The first time you practice that question, maybe your marks may be tiny. Doesn't matter. After a few days, try that same question out again the second time. This time, your marks may be higher. After all, you've tried it out for the first time. And then, after another few more days, try that same question out for the third time. And by now, on your third attempt, you really should be scoring 80% of the marks on that question. So this is the practice strategy that is crucial to your passing. You can't simply practice one question just once. Every question must be practiced 3 times with the aim of getting 80% of the marks for that question in your final attempt. So the crash course is designed to cover all the big mark questions. So we've got audit risk, business risk, risk of mature misstatement, audit procedures, and all of that is for question 1. Then you've got matters and evidence question, finalization and reporting. This one is one of the questions in section B. Then we've got ethical and professional issues, practice management, and non-audit assignments. So we are covering all the big mark questions that will appear in the exam. So after completing the modules in the crash course, you will sit for the progress test with everyone else in the program, and I will show you how to mark your answer. Then the final revision. 1 week later, you will sit for the mock exam with everyone else in the program. And again, I'll show you how to mark your answers so that you can appreciate the value of the output, that you won't go in blind into the exam, not knowing the value of what you are putting down. So, regardless of the global pass rate for AAA, the crash course is designed for your success. Many students resitting AAA have cleared the exam by doing the required work in the crash course. And so can you. So just head over to www.ardentlearninghub.com to register. And I will see you on the other side.